Sanje Dubare Sho Sanje Joda Zoge Jona Chanjo Bado Dane Jazo Je Dage Jinso Kebe Sonam Dola Benjira Sanje Dubare Sho Sanje Joda Zoge Jona Chanjo Bado Dane Jazo Je Dage Jinso Kebe Sonam Dola Benjira Sanje Dubare Sho Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yevatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Bhati Mahashramanaye Svaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yevatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Bhati Mahashramanaye Svaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yevatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Bhati Mahashramanaye Svaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes taught by the Tathagata, the cessation causes as well as taught by the great seer. Okay, let us turn to page 213, page 213. Independent Origination and Emptiness, a compilation of excerpts from sutras and traditions of meditation. Okay, what are we going to read? What are we going to read now? This is the compilation of, again, many years, almost like 20 years of, say, bringing together of the important verses which His Holiness used to use in public teachings related to the study, reflection, meditation, emptiness, and these are compiled together. And later on, some additional, the verses or the sutras, pieces from sutras and commentaries, we also bring them together here. And this will be very helpful for us, particularly in the context of the bringing or awakening the understanding of emptiness, sharpening our understanding of emptiness, make the understanding deeper and deeper. And the first passage which we're going to read, I'm just going to quickly explain this, and the others we'll just read through. The first one, Buddha Shakyamuni was in fact comparing. So from this we will get facts. We'll get facts which are so important. There are so many important facts which your mind can understand, but sometimes we deliberately shut down. We close ourselves up, and then not allowing the facts for you to know the facts. Once you know the facts, you become more confident. So this is where we should be eager to learn. So the learning, there are something which are just trivial things where we spend a lot of time to learn, and there's some very important solid things we learn, and then you grow so fast, and then you reach your happiness, the fearlessness and happiness very quickly. So here, the first passage, Buddha Shakyamuni is comparing the two Bodhisattvas. When you say Bodhisattvas, always talk about Buddhist Bodhisattvas. Bodhisattvas are very important, and also like we put them next to the Buddha, and they're all the same. They're not same. We said that even the yogis, the bodhisattvas, the real yogis, and the bodhisattvas, the yogis, what we read in the text, that the higher levels of the yogis, they supersede the lower levels of the yogis, which means within the yogis we see that there are different levels. Gade, para, samgade, bodhiswaha. Within the para gade, then para samgade. Within that, again, there are 10 layers. So we see that there are so many the layers there, and now you'll get some idea. So the facts about these differences amongst the high-level practitioners, like the bodhisattvas. So the Buddha is comparing the two bodhisattvas. One who generated bodhicitta many aeons ago, many lifetimes before, but still yet to realize emptiness. One bodhisattva. Next bodhisattva who just generated the wisdom freshly, and yet is equipped with the wisdom of emptiness. And here the Buddha is comparing these two bodhisattvas. And in terms of what they do, in terms of what the merits they accumulate, the bodhisattva who had been bodhisattva all these many lifetimes, but without wisdom of emptiness, that merit accumulation, comparing with just a small merit accumulated by the bodhisattva who just recently became a bodhisattva, but with the wisdom of emptiness, the one with the wisdom of emptiness far excels the merit accumulation done by the bodhisattva, although being a bodhisattva for all these many lifetimes. So, what makes the difference is the wisdom of emptiness, which makes the whole difference. It's like say the food. Say you have the best of the chef who makes the food, but if he forgets to add the salt, then the food is totally tasteless. The moment a pinch of salt is added, the whole flavor comes out. Likewise, the wisdom of emptiness, it plays such a great role that whatever you do will be taken to directly become a cause to the cause of nirvana and cause of the Buddhahood. Because without the wisdom of emptiness, without the wisdom, you will continue in the dream. And with being in the dream, you will never think of getting out of the dream. So wisdom of emptiness is the one which makes you wake up. So all those activities, the virtues that you do, in association with the wisdom of emptiness, they will turn as a cause for your liberation from samsara, and then when motivated bodhicitta will be a cause for the Buddhahood as well. So therefore, this says why the wisdom of emptiness is extremely important. So let's read this now. Reading this, you will get a conviction, confidence. Okay, this is actually what the Buddha taught. The gift of Yudhradna Sutra. Manjushri, whoever listens even with doubt to this teaching on emptiness generates much greater merit than a bodhisattva who, lacking skill in means, practices the six perfections for 100,000 eons. This being so, what need is there to say anything about a person who listens to this teaching without doubt? What need is there to say we impart the scripture in writing, memorize it, and also teaches it thoroughly and extensively to others? The treasure of the One Thus Gone Sutra. Any person who possessing all these 10 great known virtues enters into the teaching of the selflessness and has faith and conviction that all phenomena are from the beginning pure of true existence, does not go to a bad rebirth. Chapter on Subduing Devil Sutra. If any bhikshu realizes that all phenomena are absolutely pacified of inherent existence, and the beginning of defilements is devoid of self-nature, it removes the guilt of having defilements and make unstable the defilements, thus deeming even the immeasurable negativities dysfunctional, let alone the secondary wrong done associated with ethics and rituals. Arideva's founded verses on the middle way. Those with less merit will not even have a doubt in this Dharma of ultimate reality. Should any inquiry ever arise in someone, it will shatter samsara into pieces. This is so important. This is said by Bodhisattva Arideva, the direct disciple of Nagarjuna. And Nagarjuna is revered as the second Buddha. Of course, there are many other masters who are also given the epithet, the second Buddha. But Aranyagajuna is the one who is unanimously, in the tradition of the Mahayana, he is considered as the second Buddha. So his student, the Bodhisattva Deva, said that for people and to be connected with the teacher emptiness, feel interested in emptiness. What is emptiness? This sense of curiosity, even that requires a lot of merit. Without merit, the person will not even come in contact with the wisdom of emptiness. And then not only that, you will not feel so emptiness. And okay, yeah, he said it, and then finish. But those with merit, oh, what does it mean by that? It rings something in my ear. It's something, it resonates something. What does it mean by that? You explore, which means you are very meritorious. So it says, those with less merit will not even have a doubt in this teaching. Should a doubt arise in this teaching of emptiness, it will shatter your samsara into pieces. So what is that samsara? Being in the dream. The dream, you continue to suffer loss of freedom. And that is shattered when you wake up. The wisdom of emptiness. Even a doubt, it will shatter the samsara into pieces. Okay, let's read this once more. Those with less merit will not even have a doubt in this Dharma, ultimate reality. Should an inquiry ever arise in someone, it will shatter samsara into pieces. Acharya Dhamramkot's commentary on valid cognition. One is liberated through the view of emptiness. The rest of the meditations are for the sake of that. Bodhisattva Shantideva's guided Buddhist way of life. All of these branches of practices were taught by the Buddha for the sake of wisdom. Therefore, those who wish to pacify suffering should generate this wisdom. Acharya Chandagiri's entry in the middle way. Even as an ordinary being, when hearing about emptiness, if one experiences with an utter joy again and again, tears flowing from such pure and one's hair stands on end, one has the seed of the wisdom of full awakening. Upadhyaya requested Sutra, the various delightful flowers blossom, and the sparkling supreme golden pot stands so enduring. For none of these is their creator, they are positive by the power of thought. It is through the conceptualization that the world is imputed. Okay, so this verse, usually I personally use this verse as the verse to begin my personal practice on emptiness. Every time I do my more formal meditation on emptiness, I use this verse to begin with. And then for all of us, whenever we encounter with some beautiful moments like, say for example, your family meeting, family gathering, friends gathering, and so when these things happen, beautiful moments, and sometimes even in pubs, right? If you end up, so here Tushita, no mobile, nothing, and suddenly, and your friend says, hey, you are so boring, what happened? Come. Right? Oh, no. Where? Pub. No, just rest, you don't do anything, come. Right? No. What happened to you? So it's so self-denial, come, don't be too boring, come, right? And you go there. So if it does happen, right, if possible, don't let them drag you drag them up. You're getting it? Okay, so what I'm saying is that even if such things happen, in other words, what you see as a beautiful moment, as a beautiful sunset, and having a nice meal with your friends, with your family, and so forth, just hold on for a few seconds. Give yourself a few seconds. Okay, I will enjoy, it's fine. I'll enjoy it. Just think of emptiness. Think of emptiness. Of this beautiful food, beautiful sunset, a beautiful moment with somebody who really cares for you. Even that person is, say, a bunch of atoms. Objectively, it's not there. It's my mind creating this illusion. And then likewise, when bad things happen, also think of this also like dream. This also coming from my mind. Think of that. So every moment, beautiful moments, bad moments, they come, just give us a little space, a little gap, and then think about emptiness for a while. And then with this, build a habit, build a tendency, so that in the future lifetimes, they say you as a little boy or little girl, say all the other little boys and girls, they're so happy with the teddy bear, right? With the teddy bear, what age? 20? Some people age 20, 25 still holding teddy bear. Yeah, some are there. So like age 3, 4, 5, every boy and girl, they're so excited with holding teddy bear. You just, because of the tendency that you built in the past life, you as a little boy, little girl, you just keep a short break. That, okay, you don't know what is happening within you, but you keep a short break there, and you're not too excited to grab like this. You keep a short break and very composed, and the elders will be so surprised. Okay, this girl is very special. This boy is very special. Right? Very special. And will not react so fast. Will act according to the need. But not totally passive. Not react. House on fire, still not react. Right? Not reacting is you should have balance. Not react when not needed. React when needed. I won't say react, I would say proactive. Proactive when needed. This is very important. So it's not just one part. It should have two sides. Being proactive when required and not reactive when not required. This balance. So even as a little boy, little girl in your next life, elders can see that in you. So this is how you follow Gade, right? Okay. So what I'm saying is take a little time and remember this verse. The various delightful flowers blossom. Right? It's a very beautiful moment in your life to see the flowers, sunset, and the very serene ocean, and the wilderness, sound of the birds, the natural, the wildlife. There's so much beauty there. So there, just hold on for a while. Recite this verse in Tibetan. Naso yiga mendo khacheshin sergi khanjo barwa yongwa tenam tela chebo gamede teda tobe wangi shabai. This is the Tibetan verse. In English, various delightful flowers blossom, and the sparkling supreme golden apples stand so alluring. For none of these is their creator. There's nothing really there as an external agent to create this. It's your mind. It's just a bunch of atoms. It's just a bunch of atoms, and your mind imputes just a bunch of atoms there, and on that basis you see just Anna, or your mom, your dad, your friend. Where is this coming from? That if you see a bunch of atoms, you will not say, hey, my dad, my mom. You will not say that. But you are seeing something different from just a bunch of atoms. What is that different thing that you are perceiving? It's just coming from your mind. Your mind is creating it. There's no external agent which is creating all these things. It's your mind which is creating it. Good things, bad things, whatever, is all coming from your mind. But this is not nihilism. It's not that, okay, so my mind is creating it, then I can imagine I'm Buddha. Right? No, you'll not become Buddha. Even if you say 100 times, you say, I'm Buddha. You'll not become Buddha. You're getting it? There is, while there's nothing exists objectively, empty of objective exists here, other side is dependent origination. Other side, dependent origination. Emptiness, dependent origination, these are the two sides of the same coin. It's not that you can just imagine anything. There is nihilism. So what's the difference between nihilism and emptiness? This is one thing that we need to know, the difference between nihilism and emptiness. So with nihilism, again, it's all coming from your mind. It's just your thoughts, what you think, right? And then you disregard the law of cause and effect. You disregard, you just go into indulgence. It doesn't make any sense. Why? Everything should be so precise, this, that, this. This is just mental conceptualization. Then you engage into indulgence. This is purely nihilism. Whereas the real emptiness is the middle way. Middle way is, the emptiness is not nihilism. Emptiness is the middle way. So how do we understand that emptiness is the middle way? This is extremely important. For this, we need to know emptiness is not nihilism. Emptiness on one side, and what is the other side? Dependent origination. These are two sides of the same coin, emptiness and dependent origination. So what we can say is that what we need to learn is that, what we learn is that the first, before we plunge into emptiness concept, two questions to keep in mind. Before we plunge into the emptiness concept, two questions to keep in mind. The first question, do things exist? Do things exist? If your answer is no, this is nihilism. You're not entitled for emptiness. This is nihilism. Only if you pass the first question well, that's yes, everything exists. Good things, bad things, everything exists. Then you are entitled to go for the second question. Second question is, if things exist, how do they exist? Do they exist objectively? If you say yes, you fall into absolutism. To the second question, do things exist objectively? Although you accept things existing, but if you accept that things exist objectively, this is you fall into absolutism. So the answer should be no. To the first question, do things exist? Answer is yes, to save you from nihilism. To the second question, do things exist objectively? Answer should be no, to save you from absolutism. So only if you are able to give the correct answers to these two questions, then you can go into the study of emptiness. So for that matter, again, to make it more precise, that emptiness is not nothingness. Emptiness is not nihilism. We have to understand emptiness equals dependent origination, number one. Emptiness equals dependent origination. Number two, dependent origination equals the middle way. Let me repeat it. Emptiness equals dependent origination, and dependent origination equals the middle way. Therefore, if I say A equals B, B equals C, then your job is to tell me that, therefore, A equals C. Likewise, what I said is what I'm saying is A equals B, B equals C, therefore A equals C. Likewise, what I said is that emptiness equals dependent origination equals middle way, therefore emptiness equals the middle way. It's not nihilism. You're getting it? Okay, so for that, again, don't take it blindly. Don't take it blindly. Or somebody says, this is amazing, A equals this is amazing. Emptiness equals dependent origination equals middle way, therefore emptiness equals middle way. This is amazing. There's nothing amazing. You have to know how emptiness equals the dependent origin first. How dependent origination equals the middle way. Only then you can say it's amazing. So therefore, how is it that emptiness equals dependent origination? The first part. What is your question? Yes, Dedinla. What's the question? How emptiness equals dependent origination? Okay. To know that, 5 points. You should be convinced. Don't just mimic somebody. Don't just don't just follow blindly. For this, we have to know 5 points. Emptiness equals middle way. How? 5 points. First, emptiness. First is emptiness. Okay. Number 2, emptiness doesn't mean nothingness. Emptiness is a short form of emptiness of independent existence. Let me repeat it. Emptiness is not nothingness. Emptiness is a short form of emptiness of independent existence. Okay. How many you how many you know who? How many you know who? Raise hands. How many you know who? How many you don't know who? Raise hands. Okay, in Russian is complicated. Okay, so how many you know who? Okay, raise hands. How many you know who? Okay, what is who? Right? What is who? Who are you? Right? This is not the meaning. Right? I'm not asking who are you, who. Who is the World Health Organization? Who is the short form of World Health Organization? So it's not who. You're getting it? So likewise, emptiness is not just emptiness. Emptiness is a short form of emptiness of independent existence. So number one is emptiness. Number two is emptiness. That emptiness is a short form of emptiness of independent existence. Number three, emptiness of independent existence means nothing exists independently. Number three, emptiness of independent existence means nothing exists independently. Number three, nothing exists independently means, number four, that everything exists by dependence. Number four, everything exists by dependence means everything is dependent originated. So this is how emptiness equals the middle way. Let me repeat it. What is number one? Emptiness. What is number two? That emptiness is a short form of emptiness of independent existence. What is number three? Emptiness of independence means nothing exists independently. What is number four? Nothing exists independently means everything exists by dependence. What is number five? That everything is by dependence means everything is dependently originated or dependently arisen. Dependently arising, dependently arisen, dependently originated. So this is how emptiness equals dependent origination. Next. What is next? So how is dependent origination, how that equals middle way? Again, you have to know the reason. So dependent origination is the middle way. Dependent origination has two sides, dependence and origination. First, dependence. When you say dependence, what is the opposite of dependence? What's the opposite of dependence? Independence. So when you say dependent, it rejects the independence. It rejects independence and absolute. These two mean the same. So it's absolute, it's independent. So when you say dependent, it rejects the independence, it rejects absolutism. It rejects the extreme of absolutism. And the other part, dependent origination. Origination, number two. Origination means something comes into origination. Something comes into existence. What is the opposite of existence? Non-existence, nihilism. When you say origination, it rejects the extreme of nihilism. So when you bring the two together, dependence and origination together, it rejects the two extremes. Rejecting the two extremes is following the middle way. So this is how dependent origination means the middle way. Okay, so now my job is done. Emptiness equals dependent origination, and dependent origination equals the middle way. Therefore, your job, emptiness equals the middle way is not nihilism. You're getting it? Okay, this is so important. Okay. So, with this, having understood this, so when you say that the real understanding of emptiness is marked by the person not being too reactive, very composed, and very confident, even as a little boy, little girl, you talk, what the little boy says is very heavily, there's gravity there in what the child is saying. Oftentimes, even the parents say they respect this little boy or little girl, aged 3 or 4, hardly can talk, but what the words come out is so heavy. There's a great meaning there. So this is because of the past life experience, past life studies, past life contemplations. Okay, so with this mind, any beautiful moments and so forth, don't be reactive. This is a Tibetan expression which says the dog Meeting between the dog and the meat. A dog meets a meat. What is that like? Huh? No time to think. Right? This is how many of us engage in indulgence. No time to think. Just react. So this is where they say, if we build a habit of just giving yourself a little space, little time. Okay, if at all I learn to engage, I can engage, but I give a little space, little time there, and think of this verse. The various delightful flowers blossom, and the sparkling supreme golden apples stand so alluring. Look at the houses. Some of the houses are so beautiful, so exotic. So exotic, some of the Singaporean houses. Although the land is very small, but the people there, you know how they design, the color combination is just amazing. Where's Kunjoli? Where is this girl there? So she's expert in color combination, right? So I may admire Singaporean color, the building color combinations. This girl may not admire. She's so expert in this. Okay, so what I'm saying is that when you see these, wow, right? Wow. When you have these feelings, hold for a while. Don't be reactive. Don't become like a dog and a meat. Just remain, give us a little time and think of this. Okay, this, yes, it's like, but it's nothing but made of atoms. So on the atomic level, where is this? Wow, it's not really there. You'll be shocked. When there's a shock, you are discovering a discrepancy. When you feel shock, where is that? You are discovering a discrepancy between the appearance and the reality. It appears as something wow, but in reality it's absent. You're getting it? And the best example is what? Online meetings, online chats, online dating. You're getting it? These are the best examples. It appears so amazing. As though the other side is so perfect. When you actually go there, so many complications. You regret having come here. So this is the best example of discrepancy between appearance and reality. You're getting it? So we discover the discrepancy between appearance and reality. Then your reaction will stop because appearance, that makes us to believe in that as a reality. That belief makes us to react. So with this, just hold it. Give us a little time, hold back a little while, and think of this, and then take part in this by being mindful that this is like illusion. You're getting it? Okay, good. We'll recite the verse once more. The various delightful flowers blossom, and the sparkling supreme golden apples stand so alluring. For none of these is their creator. They are posited by the power of thought. It is through conceptualization that the world is imputed. Bhikkhuni Vajira's utterance and the Fundamental Vehicle Sutra. The mind is demonic, which views the true self. You have a wrong view. Composite aggregates are empty. There is no being in them. Just as one designates a cart and depends upon a collection of parts, so we assert a conventional sentient beings and dependence upon the aggregates. Venerable Shavara's writings, searching for reality throughout space, one finds not the periphery nor center. All perception cease completely. Likewise, through the thought or search of mind and phenomena, one finds not even an atom of essence. Since the searching mind is not found, not seeing anything is seeing the reality. As in Sara's writings, by entering into emptiness, but devoid of compassion, one will not find the supreme path. By meditating upon compassion alone, one will not attain liberation, but remain in samsara. Will not remain in samsara, nor abide in personal nirvana. King of Concentration Sutra. Just as in the dream of a young girl, she met with a boy and saw his death. Just was she at the meeting and in anguish at his death, the all phenomena is thus. Are in Nagarjuna's fundamental middle way. Ceasing on karmas and afflictions is nirvana. Karmas and afflictions arise from conceptual thought. These arise from mental elaboration of self-grasping ignorance. Elaboration ceases by the wisdom of emptiness. Neither the aggregates, no different from the aggregates. The aggregates don't depend on them, nor is he dependent on them. The Tathagata does not possess the aggregates. What is the Tathagata? That which dependent originates is posited to empty of independent existence. That being dependent designated, this is the middle way. Since there is no phenomenon that is not dependent originated, therefore there is no phenomenon that is not empty. Arunyagarjuna's precious garden. If the person is not earth, not water, not fire, not air, not space, not also consciousness, not all of them, where is the person out of those? Just as a person is not truly existent because of being an aggregation of the 6 elements, each element also is not truly existent as the aggregation of their own constituents. Dharma Samgiti Sutra. Form appears as a mass of form. Feelings resemble bubbles in water, and discriminations like a mirage. Mental formations are like plantain trees. Consciousness is like a magical illusion. So taught Surya Mitra. Arunyagarjuna's the commentary on the awakened mind. Those who understand this emptiness of phenomena, yet also conform to the law of karma and its results, that is more amazing than amazing, that is more wondrous than wondrous. Aradeva's 400 verses on the middle way. When dependent arising is seen, ignorance does not occur. Thus, through all efforts, strive to find this subject. His Holiness the 7th Dalai Lama's range our feats, a song of the 4 mindfulness as a guide to the view of the middle way. Okay, so what is the thought here is that this is all being to build the mindfulness of the reality of dreamlike nature. So, imagine that you are at the crossroad where the 6 roads cross. So, what is the likelihood? Likelihood that you will see different kinds of people, different kinds of cars, and different things you will see. For example, I have one relative, and if you want to get hold of him, you go to the crossroad. You will see him there. He's so fond of to be in the crossroad. Literally. Because he would sit like this and then keep watching. He enjoys watching all the different people, different cars. If you don't find him, go to crossroad. You will find him there. So, not him. Each one of us, we are at the crossroad of your eyes, road of the eyes, road of the ears, road of the nose, road of the tongue, road of the body, road of the meta consciousness. Each one of us, we are at the crossroad. And we are eating something and listening to music and watching watching a movie, and then the AC on, right? And then mentally thinking of, okay, right, where's my mobile? You're getting it? So all 6 are busy. We're in the middle. And who's that person who is in the middle of these 6, the different perceptions? It's you. You're getting it? So this is you. Don't just think of crossroad outside there. It's a crossroads inside you. Okay. So there, 7th Dalai Lama, who's being respected, highly respected for having actualized the realization of the emptiness in a bare form. So this is experience. So what he said is that we are like being sitting at the crossroad of the 6 roads crossing each other. And then because of that, we are bound to see different things. But don't just react. Stay there. And remember that all these, what you're seeing, is nothing but made of a bunch of atoms. On the atomic level, there's no beautiful cheesecake, there's no beautiful flowers, there's no beautiful person, so forth. And the music that you are listening to, there's no music, it's just they say the fragments of the sounds. Your mind combines together and hears the music. There's no music there. So this all, like, if you go there, what is meant by hazy? Hazy meaning that you see something, when you go there, it's not really there. So all these what you're encountering, which traps us, which glues us, this is all nothing but the hazy deceptions, like a magical illusion, which are hazy, we're totally baseless. Baseless meaning when you go there, there's nothing there. They are totally baseless, and these deceive us. So be mindful of that, and don't be carried away by these perceptions. This is warning given. So this is what, on a daily basis, this is how we encounter people with. and how we are so glued to things, how we feel so averse to things, and deep sadness, deep excitement, all these things. All these things arise because of viewing things as object real, as well. There's some basis there, some substantial reality there, which is actually like illusion. So this is so clearly presented here by the seventh Dalai Lama. It so happened, what happened was that when I was in America, Shravasti Abbey, Venerable Chitanla, in her place there, and the two of us are working on His Holiness's book, which she actually compiled together. And then during the lunchtime, they have the tradition of reading some short texts. And this text was read, and this was so beautiful. I know this text, but I asked her, where did you get this translation from? And she said, you translated this. Right? Okay. So what I'm saying is that that is not the language. The subject matter is so beautiful. Subject matter is so beautiful. So what I do is that subject matter-wise, I translate, and I give it to a native English speaker. Beautify the language. Make the language beautiful. And I give full liberty. You change anything, but you don't have the right to change even a single meaning. Words, you just remove all the words. Even the sentences, you just put upside down. Remove all my words and replace with your own words. Make it beautiful. But the meaning should not be altered. So this is extremely amazing and powerful text. Extremely powerful, and the meaning is so profound. So let us read this. But remembering what I said at the crossroad, each one of us being at the crossroad. At the crossroad, okay, the full text of this is very short text. The full text is included in this book. I just extracted all these things, put them into this, but in the book, the full text is there. At the crossroads of the six collections of consciousness, that of diverse perceptions, are seen the hazy dualistic phenomena which are baseless. There's a magical show that is by nature deceptive. Don't believe them to be true, but view them as having the nature of emptiness. Don't let the mind go astray, but place it within the nature of appearance emptiness. Through not losing mindfulness, hold it within the nature of appearance and emptiness. The sphere of appearing existing phenomena is pervaded by the space of the ultimate clear light of suchness. There is an ineffable ultimate reality. View this nature of emptiness thoroughly, abandoning mental contrivances. Don't let your mind go astray, but place it within the ambience of reality. Through not losing mindfulness, hold it within the ambience of reality. His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama's prayer for proliferating the Damdul of his nose. I'm not going to explain this today. There are actually two things which need to be explained, which we'll do sometimes later, either tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Okay, let's just read through. Venerable Marba Lozawa, Shebe Dorji, and so on, host of the precious Gaigyu, the source of blessings, the chain of the unexcelled masters of this outstanding tradition. To you all I pray, may the Buddha Dhamma of the land of snows bliss forevermore. All phenomena encompassing samsara and nirvana are but the radiance of spontaneous awareness. Awareness itself, devoid of elaborations, is realized in the nature of Dharmakaya. All existence is not apparent. Is the great Mahamudra. May the Buddha Dhamma of the land of snows blaze forevermore. Aranigarjunas in praise of Dharmadhatu. Impermanent, suffering, and empty. These ways they purify the mind. The Dhamma that is unsurpassed in purifying the mind is the lack of intrinsic nature. Concluding prayer from Lama Tsongkhapa's Ocean of Reasoning, a commentary on Aranigarjuna's fundamental wisdom middle way. Okay, this is something, again, all these things are compilation. One time, the teaching was given on the Aranigarjuna's text with a commentary by Lama Tsongkhapa, and actually in Tibetan there are 2 volumes of this commentary. And towards the end, I saw this prayer. It just caught my aside, and I was, wow, that's amazing. This is a prayer I must include every day. So I included this as a prayer here. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the Arya Manjushri and be able to uphold the Dhamma in general and the teachings of independent origination in particular, even in the course of my life. Okay. And for Shri Heruka Sadhana, just let us okay, just quickly, I'm not going to explain detail. The detail will come later, tomorrow. Shri Heruka is the name of the deity. Actually, the Buddha Shakyamuni himself manifests in different deities, one of which is Shri Heruka. And how the Buddhas, they select their names. They select their names not to make them popular, just to leave imprint in the minds of sentient beings, imprints of liberation. That simply by hearing their names, it'll help leave special imprints in the minds. So the beings, these imprints get activated and then make them become enlightened. So how? It's not like just throw some blessings or some mantras. No. The meanings are very profound. The meanings of which I'll explain tomorrow, day after tomorrow. So today we'll just fold a hand and recite it. Shri Heruka, Shri Heruka, Shri Heruka. He is the selflessness phenomena, emptiness of the mind, which is the source of everything, as it is imputed of causal nature. Ru is the selflessness of person, the emptiness of self, that is fabricated by the web of conceptual thought that grasps at the self of person. Ka is the ultimate reality, the absence of dissonant duality of subject and object. Shri is the non-dual exalted wisdom that abides in congruence with them. This is the meaning of the Evam. Okay, who's going to remind me that these two things, the two verses from His Holiness from Dalai Lama and the Shri Heruka extract, remind me, okay, then Shambhala and Victor and Audrey, Lamade and Nishok, okay, and then, okay, Leon and Sivlana. Okay, so there are several of them, they're going to remind me. Good. And the Brahmalaji also. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, good. Now, let's go back to the text. Okay, so yesterday we left the second verse, but we did mention this, explain this. Now let me make it very clear. The second verse, which is on page 23. Page 23, ready? Okay. Which is conventional and ultimate. These are accepted as being the two truths. Ultimate is not the object of dualistic mind. Okay. So from what we have learned thus far is that somebody in the dream and somebody who has woken up. Two. So the saying, which of the two is the reality? Which of the two, seen by which of the two minds is the reality? The one seen by the person who is woken up, or one is seen by the person in the dream? Which one? Somebody who is woken up. So that's the reality. That reality which the person who is woken up, that reality will not be seen by the person in the dream. You agree? The reality which you are seeing now, the reality, is not seen by the person in the dream. The dreaming person. Okay. So the mind of the dreaming person is like the conventional analysis. Mind of the awakened, the person who is awakened, that mind is like the ultimate analysis. So ultimate reality, which is seen by the person who is the woken up, that is not seen by the mind of the person in the dream. So it says, these are accepted as being the true truths. Ultimate, one is seen by the person who is woken up. Ultimate is not the object of the dualistic mind, meaning the mind of the dreaming person. So here, we can say dualistic mind, or in bracket, you can say conventional analysis. You can say conventional analysis. What we said is yesterday, what we said is that the same this flower, group A uses your what? Conventional analysis, ultimate analysis. Conventional analysis. Group A says this is a flower. I do not say, did you see or not? You're so excited. Okay, thank you. So group A sees this as a flower by using the conventional analysis. So the object seen by the conventional analysis is known as conventional truth. And group B, you use the ultimate analysis. So the object seen by the ultimate analysis is known as ultimate truth. You getting it? So with the same thing, group A sees this as a flower. Group B sees that just a bunch of atoms, no flower, absence of flower, emptiness of flower. You're getting it? So it doesn't mean that group B is seeing the flower is absent. You getting it? Flower is absent or not absent is decided by which mind? Conventional mind or ultimate mind? Flower is absent or not absent? So for example, in my hand there's a flower. Now I remove the flower, absence of flower. So that is decided by conventional analysis, ultimate analysis. Yes, conventional analysis, you're getting it? So, but group B says that there's no flower. When they say there's no flower, it doesn't mean there's no flower. It means there's no objective flower because they are ultimate analysis. Ultimate meaning objective. So when they say there's no flower, it means there's no objective flower because they don't examine whether flower exists or not. They examine whether flower exists objectively or not. You're getting it? Whereas group A is the one who can decide whether flower exists or not exists. Because the flower existing, not existing is purely conventional reality. You're getting it? So simply because the ultimate analysis says that there's no flower, don't think that, oh, flower does not exist. Then in the ultimate analysis, nothing exists. So nothing exists. Everything's empty. So everything's nihilism. This is our wrong understanding. You getting it? Okay. So with this, it says that the ultimate reality is not something which is seen by the dualistic conventional analysis. So why the conventional analysis is known as dualistic mind? This is a very important question. If you want to know this, I'll not explain it now. Put it down. Put the question down. Why the conventional analysis is known as dualistic mind? This is extremely important question. You getting it? And they say, by the way, we are very lucky. We have the Geshe here, we have Geshe there, Geshe here, Geshe here, and we have Dhyana there, we have Ngawana there, Ngawana, right? And we have here Dr. Pujala there, Dr. Tinzi Chingla there, and many seniors are there. Oh, so I don't have to give the answer, right? So, what is the question? Why the conventional analysis is known as dualistic mind? You getting it? Okay, so it's his job. It's not my job. But who asked this question? I ask question. And you know the rule. You know the rule? Okay, how many know the rule? Namsar, you know the rule? What's the rule? Hey, listen. Namsar, mic.
Gishla, if a question comes from you, you won't be giving the answer to that question.
Louder.
Gishla, if a question comes from you, then we won't be getting the answer for that question.
Did you all hear what she said? Just some faint, right? Namsar, louder.
If the question comes from Gishla, then you won't be expecting any answer for the question.
Thank you. So I ask the question, don't expect the answer from me. You getting it? Okay. So therefore, the best is you don't give chance for me to ask questions. Right? Don't give me chance to ask question. Okay. Okay, good. So it says, the ultimate reality is not the object of dualistic mind of the conventional analysis. So what does the conventional analysis see? What does it see? Dualistic mind or the conventional analysis is spoken of in relation to the conventional truth as its object, not the ultimate truth. Because what group A sees is never the ultimate truth. What group A sees is always the conventional truth. You're getting it? Okay. So now that you know this, so where did we leave yesterday? Which verse? Oh, third line is not done. Okay, yes. Verse number 4. Verse number 4, third line. So let me read verse number 4 once more. Through differences in the intelligence, the views of the yogis too are undermined by progressively higher ones. By means of examples accepted by both, and because unanalyzed, both engage in practices for the sake of the result. Okay, so how do we evaluate which of the, whose understanding, which of the yogis' understanding supersedes the others? How do we evaluate that? So it is through discussion. Through discussion, for example, like Acharya Chandrakirti and Acharya Chandragumi, two of them, a lot of discussions, debates. For example, like the Arya Sangha and the Acharya Vasubandhu, Acharya Arya Sangha, the elder brother, and Acharya Vasubandhu, the younger brother. Two of them in the 4th and 5th century AD. Two of them, they are actually half brothers. Same mother, different fathers. So two of them, Arya Sangha, the label, when we say Arya Sangha, don't think that, okay, somebody said Arya, so anybody can be called as Arya, no. When we say Arya, there's a reason there. Arya meaning, what does it mean by Arya? Yes, gentleman over there. Mike.
Меня зовут Роман. Достигший пути видения.
Perfect. Anybody who has attained the path of seeing and above, they are known as Aryas. Arya meaning in English, superiors. Superior. In what way superior? Superior in seeing the reality. Superior in seeing the ultimate reality. Whereas the others, they see the ultimate reality conceptually, not directly. When you reach the part of seeing, you see the ultimate reality directly. So your way of perceiving the reality is very different. So therefore you are superior in that sense. Okay. Because of which all your thoughts, all your behaviors, they become different. Because of this direct realization of emptiness, your behaviors, your thoughts, they become supramundane. So yes, there's still the debate on supramundane, contaminated, uncontaminated, still going on, right? Remnants are going on. I'm very glad. Okay, so so how do we evaluate that? Who's the intelligence, the wisdom, is superior over the other? How to evaluate that? For example, like say Acharya Chandragumi and Acharya Chandrakirti. So, both are exceptionally brilliant masters. So how do we know that the whose understanding is more profound than the other? How do you know that? Let them discuss. And of course, both should have exceptional the intelligence to understand what the other person is saying. So through discussion, and how to do discussion doesn't mean that what do you think. So you have to in the form of debate. And the debate should have these attributes, like the examples are required. Examples are required, and then the premises, the reasons that you give. So it says that by means of examples, accepted both. When you give the example, both sides should accept the example. Say, for example, Acharya Chandrakirti, when you study the text by Acharya Chandrakirti, so rhetorically, Acharya Chandrakirti asked the question to Chittamatra, what example do you have to prove that nothing exists externally? Okay, this we'll discuss later, but for the time being. So what Acharya Chandrakirti is asking, what example do you have to say that nothing exists externally? So Acharya say the example given by the Chittamatra should be something acceptable to the Acharya Chandrakirti as well as to the Chittamatra on both sides. This example is trying to prove your point. So for that, the example must be acceptable by to both the sides. So he says, by means of example, accepted by both the sides, both the parties, and because unanalyzed, both engaged in the practice for the sake of the result. Meaning that unanalyzed could say, whether you accept your point or others' point or not, it doesn't matter. Both sides, these accept the conventional reality, meaning that the conventionally, I am struggling to become enlightened. You are also struggling to become enlightened. We are on the same page. But we disagree. And what is that philosophy, understanding which will take you to enlightenment? So the Acharya Chandra will say that emptiness is intrinsic reality. And the Acharya Chandra Gomi will say they are not emptiness of intrinsic reality, emptiness of externality. So they differ. So they have to give reasons, give examples. That the first one premise that both sides should accept is that you are in the world of the conventional functional world. This you have to accept. That I accept functional world. For example, I engage in the Dharma practices to attain a goal, and you also engage in Dharma practices to attain the goal. So which means there's a cause and effect operation. This is what I accept, what I accept. So with this, and then you keep discussing. If there's no intrinsic reality, then it should become subjective. If everything is subjective, then everything should become your imagination. If everything is imagination, it contradicts with the functional world, which you and I accept. You're getting it? So this is how they debate. Don't worry too much about this part, because the debates will come later. Actual debates come later. Okay, the next. Refuting objections from the proponents of inherent existence. Okay. Before we go further, I'd like to touch one important concept. That is that the okay. So here the word used is intrinsic. Okay. What is okay? Not in the root text. In the outline, it says refuting objections from the proponents of inherent existence. So this word inherent existence comes, and you may be a little confused. We did not use the word before, inherent existence. So let us put it like this. Say that there are 5 points for us to remember. 5 things in pairs, 5 pairs. First, conventional. So what we said, okay, to begin with, what we said is that everything exists. How? Everything exists? Subjectively. This is what subjective is one that we have been using all these 3 days. Everything is subjectively. So we have to know the pair of what pairs with it. Subjective as opposed to objective. Okay, number 1 pair. Number 2, conventional. Conventional as opposed to ultimate. Dependent as opposed to independent. Then the deceptive as opposed to true existence. And the relative as opposed to absolute. You're getting it? So we need to remember these 5 points. What is the first one? Subjective as opposed to objective. Conventional as opposed to ultimate. Dependent as opposed to independent. Deceptive as opposed to true existence. Relative as opposed to relative existence as opposed to absolute existence. Okay, remember these points. And also we need to remember the another set of 5. We can also call them as 5 levels of emptiness or 5 levels of selflessness. Okay, the first one, emptiness of permanent, unitary, independent self. Emptiness of permanent, unitary, independent self, number 1. Number 2, emptiness of autonomous substantial reality. Emptiness of autonomous substantial reality. Number 3, emptiness of externality. Number 3, emptiness of externality. Number 4, emptiness of true existence. Number 4, emptiness of true existence while not rejecting objective existence. Emptiness of true existence while not rejecting objective existence. Finally, emptiness of objective / inherent / intrinsic / what else? Objective said it. Okay, so let's keep it simple. Emptiness of objective / inherent / intrinsic existence. Number 1, emptiness of permanent, unitary, independent self. Number 1, emptiness of permanent, unitary, independent self. Number 2, emptiness of autonomous, substantial reality. Number 3, emptiness of externality or external reality. Emptiness of externality or emptiness of external reality. Number 4, emptiness of objective existence. Emptiness of true existence while not rejecting objective existence. Finally, emptiness of objective / inherent / intrinsic existence. Okay, and make sure that these five don't try to disrupt the order. The sequence should be maintained as it is, for the reason that progressively it becomes subtler. From the first through to the fifth, it becomes subtler. Progressively it becomes subtler. So we said that the first one is emptiness of permanent, unity, independent self, and then emptiness of autonomous, substantial reality, then emptiness of externality, and then emptiness of true existence while not rejecting objective existence, and then finally emptiness of objective / inherent / intrinsic existence. Good. Okay, so with this in mind, what I'd like to share with you is that do you agree with me that the different Buddhist schools, except for the first one is the philosophy of the first Buddhist school, Vaibhashika, is very similar to the ordinary people's thinking. Which ordinary people meaning those in the dream, those still in the sleep. So their thinking and the Vaibhashika is very similar, because we have to climb from the ground to the first step. So first step should be very close to the ground. Vaibhashika is the step for us to get up there. So Vaibhashika is very close to the ground, which is like the ordinary people's thinking, or the people in the sleep, they thinking. People in the sleep meaning people with very active self-grasping ignorance, in the deeply sucked up in the self-grasping ignorance. So from there, from deep sleep, then you go to the first step, Vaibhashika, then to the next step, Sautrantika, then next step, Chidamatra, then next step, Sava Tantrika Madhyamaka, then next step, finally there is a terrace. Okay, so with this, the thing is that the first school, it doesn't really talk too much about the, say, mental projection or subjectivity. Then from the second school, South Atlantic School, for the first time, this school formally introduces subjectivity. South Atlantic School, second school, formally introduces subjectivity, which means that not everything is real. There's some element of dream there. Dream, your mind is creating it. So initially, something is dream, right? Then you are shaken. Initially you are shaken, but not fully shaken. So they introduce some degree of subjectivity there. Then Chittamatra comes, radically introduces subjectivity. radically introduces subjectivity, that there's nothing there outside the mind. Then the Savatantra Madhyama comes, then subjectivity explained in a more deeper sense. Then finally Prasangika comes in its fullest form. So in other words, all these schools except for Vaibhashika, they formally introduces the concept of subjectivity. You getting it? So because of this, many people who did not really study the Buddhist philosophy systematically, they think that Chittamatra philosophy and Prasangika philosophy, these two are same. Because Chittamatra talks about subjectivity, that everything is subjective, and Prasanga also says subjective, everything is subjective. These two are same, their philosophy is same. The only thing is that these two philosophy, they arose, they emerge at different times. Some philosophers say like this is because of their naivety. You're getting it? Their naivety, they did not study these 10 systems very systematically. If you study them very systematically, then you see that subjectivity has many connotations. Simply because it's the same word does not mean that what the individuals refer to this word is the same. For example, let me share a story. You listen to a story? Okay. There was monk teacher and monk student. Okay, those people who laugh, they know what the story is. There was a monk teacher and a monk student. A monk teacher was the older generation. Hello. So saying, don't share the story. Hello. Battery intact. Hello. Full. Battery full. Hello. Good. Okay. The monk teacher and monk student. And the monk student is from the era of Wi-Fi era, right? And the teacher, the poor teacher, he was from the old generation, old school, right? No Wi-Fi, nothing, everything handwritten, so forth. And the teacher just meditates all the time, which means does not know what's happening around the world. And the young monk has to help the teacher communicate with the outside world. So young monk, the student is helping the teacher. And the teacher had no exposure what's happening in the world. But the young student, young monk, maybe age, 17, 18, 19? So he was just wondering, my teacher, he would always make sure that whatever I do, I should do it in consultation with my teacher. So now the internet is world of the Wi-Fi. So what do? I will check with my teacher. So he went to the teacher, sir, can we use emails? And the teacher had no idea what is email. So the safest answer to give is that, okay, it's fine. You can use it as long as there's no attachment. Right? As a monk, not have attachment to anything. As long as there's no attachment, you can use emails. Right? So what should they do? So this poor monk, right, should write emails without sending attachments, right? Tenzin said, what should we do now? Send an attachment, not attachment? If you are the student, what should you do? Send emails with the attachment, without the attachments? With. So the teacher said, as long as there's no attachment, it's fine. Exactly. You're getting it? So the teacher didn't know what is meant by attachment in the context of the computer science. It's very different. It means very different. Simply because it's the same word. Attachment as being glued, involuntary pull, versus attachment in the form of file to be attached to the email. These mean very different, but the word is the same. So because of this, then it's very funny. For the people who know what is email, to say that you're allowed to use email as long as there's no attachment, it's very funny. But for the teacher, it's not funny, it's fine. Because the teacher doesn't mean the file to be attached. He means the involuntary pull. That should not be there. The reference is very different. So likewise, subjectivity is the same word, simply seeing the same word subjective, everything is subjective. In Chaitanya Mantra, everything is subjective. In Prasangika, some philosophers, they think that these two schools are the same. Philosophy-wise, these two schools. This is too naive. So, for this what we know is subjectivity as opposed to how subjectivity is understood by South Atlantic school. The second school. Subjectivity, they also talk about subjectivity. Subjectivity as opposed to substantial reality. So subjectivity has many connotations. So the first connotation is subjectivity as opposed to substantial reality. Then the next school, Chidamatra, subjectivity as opposed to external reality. Subjectivity as opposed to external reality. Then number 3, Savatantrika Madhyamaka, subjectivity as opposed to true existence while not rejecting objective existence. Then finally, subjectivity as opposed to objectivity. Subjectivity as opposed to objectivity, or subjectivity as opposed to objective existence. In other words, in this universe, amongst all the philosophers, somebody who truly rejects objective existence is only Prasangika. Anybody who rejects objective existence in a full form, that is a Prasangika. So Chaitanya Mantra says, everything is the nature of your mind. Everything is the nature of the mind. Mind is the subject. As well as you get the impression that Chaitanya Mantra is rejecting objectivity. No, it is not rejecting objectivity. You getting it? So, this is so important. In other words, in the context of Prasangika, objective existence, true existence, okay, let me put it like this. Objective existence, inherent existence, intrinsic existence, and then true existence, independent existence, and what else? Absolute existence, they all mean the same for Prasangika. But for lower schools, they differ. They have their own, they say they accept some, they reject some. Okay, so with this, the page number 24 once more. Refuting objections from the proponents of inherent existence. All those people who accept some degree of objectivity, they are the advocates of inherent existence. In other words, inherent existence, objective existence, intrinsic existence, they all mean the same. Let me repeat it. Inherent existence, objective existence, intrinsic existence, these three are same for all the schools across. Okay, so verse number 5. The common world sees, now what kind of, they say, the common people will say that dream is real. The contents of dream are real. And the one who has woken up, will say, no, this is not real. You're getting it? This is not real. What did I say? Hey, what happened? It's the fourth day, right? Fourth or third day. It's just the third day. And in the monastic universities, people study for years and years. They're not tired. Third day, you are tired. What question did I ask you? Okay, is it break time? Huh? Not yet. Still, they don't remember the question. I forgot the question. Principal? No, not this question. Nicola? Not sure.
Why the people in the dream, that's the waking sin. The people who are awake, they don't believe the content of the dream.
Tishina?
I think it was for those who are in
Mike.
For those who are in dream, for them the things are real. Whereas those who are woken up from the dream, the things are not real.
So what's the question?
So why? I think that was the context, and the question was why, for those who are woken up from the dream, the things are not real. That's it, Krishna. These are the words.
Are you sure? Okay, thank you. Okay, so verse number 5. The common world sees functional things and conceives them to be truly existent. Okay, pick up something and look at it and see how does the object appear to you. Pick that up and look at it. Okay, and how does the object appear to you? As what's the word here? Functional things and conceive them to be truly existent, as the object appears truly or as like deceptively. How does the object appear to you? Truly. And do you believe is that truly or not? Yes, which means we are common people. Right? Okay, common world sees functional things. Functional things meaning things which are impermanent phenomena. Impermanent phenomena which we use in day-to-day life. Hello, 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 hello. Career. Call mic text. Hello, 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 hello. Okay. The common world sees functional things and conceives them to be truly existent, not like an illusion. We don't see them as illusion. In this regard, there's a dispute between the yogis, who are the people who are woken up, and the common people. Woken up, they say that what you are seeing is not, what you are seeing is the dream. What you are seeing is dreamlike, it's subjective. And the common people say, no, they are objective. So this is a debate in the schools. Okay, so the actual debates, for example, a debate between Acharya Chandrakriti and Acharya Chandragomi. So this is exactly this debate. Acharya Chandragomi says that things do exist objectively. And Acharya Chandrakriti is saying that nothing is objective. This was the debate. You see, in a way, that debate this debate should happen within us. Our chronic disease of believing in things which are real versus the new thought process which we are developing now from Bodhisattva Shantideva's text, that things don't exist objectively. So there should be a clash, there should be a debate between the two. And say our chronic belief that things exist objectively versus the new wisdom that we are cultivating with the help of Acharya Bodhisattva Shantideva's text. So there should be debate there, and if the debate is actually happening within you, how does it reflect? It is reflected in the form of fears coming in your mind. The fears come in your mind that, okay, what I'm seeing is not the reality. It's the fears coming in you, which means that there's the debate is happening within you. Debate between your chronic disease, chronic belief in things which are real versus the new wisdom that you are developing newly, which says that nothing exists objectively. So there's a clash between these two. This clash is reflected in the form of the fear and the tension of a surprise. Surprise? How? Surprise in the base of goosebumps come in the body. Goosebump is an indication of surprise. That no, I can't believe that things don't exist objectively. This is a reality now I'm seeing. So thus far, I believe that things are all objectively real. Now, for the first time, I'm seeing that this is not real. Then you get a surprise. So that surprise is reflected in the form of goosebumps, tickling sensation, cold waves. Cold waves because of seeing that your emotions are under control. Then reflect in the form of cold waves. And then for some people, extremely tranquil feeling at the core of your heart. Many people, when they meditate emptiness, they report these experiences. Extremely tranquil feeling from the core of your heart is being felt, which you've never experienced before. Okay. Now, verse number 6. But even form and so forth, which are perceived by direct perception, are but renown that is not perceived by valid cognition, which views the ultimate. For example, we looked at the form. Whatever object that you picked up as a physical form, when you look at it, we see it as so real. But Bodhisattva Chandradev is saying, so what you are seeing is just renown. Renown means it's known like this. It is known like this. It's not really from the object. It's known like this. For example, like today you are not president and tomorrow you become the president. Right? What is that? There's nothing changed in you. It's simply the label, because the elections, the votes are the what? Votes are the reflection of the thoughts of the people. Thoughts of people. This is, okay, now he's renowned as a president of America. He's renowned as president. She's renowned as the prime minister of this country, that country, and so forth. So it's just the renowned meaning is subjective. How? Say, you look at this, you see it's a flower. You go closer, then it's just a bunch of atoms. Where was that flower which you earlier saw? It's beautiful. What I said, it's not really. It just came from your mind, not really from the object. That is the renown. And then on base of this, we see the same thing. We see the same thing, and we say, okay, let's call this flower, right? Okay. Let's say. Okay, let's say this one. What is this now? If I give it to somebody, very important person, right? No, it's very dirty, right? And then all of you, right, make something like this, same thing, you do it, and then always keep it on a table, right? On a table. So this is the indication of the purity, right? Indication of the purity and cleanliness. If it's this missing, then you're dirty, right? Then everybody else that comes, they see, oh, it's so clean, this is nice, right? So actually earlier you said this is very dirty. Nobody dares to even touch. Now a convention is created that this must be there if you are clean, right? So this is the indication of the purity. Then even outside people, they will also make that. And then see, every time they see something like this, wow. You're getting it? So we commonly just label this as wow. And then it becomes wow. There's nothing wow there. So it's pure. And then when you actually see that, you see, then later on, after it takes time for your brain to rewire it. From this so dirty to wow. It has to be rewired. So it takes time. Once they say with the adequate amount of time, then when you say, wow, wherever you somebody, right, eats chicken, not chicken, like what, vegetarian momo, right? And then with the oil, and then you say, teach people like this, keep it there, you see it, wow, right? Actually, there's no wow there, it's very dirty, right? Bacteria is all there. But when you see that, because of what you have labeled before, that imprint gets activated. Wow. You're getting it? So there's no wow there. There's no flower there. It's just what our mind imputes, and then we give a label to this, and then it becomes a fixed idea. Oh, there's a flower there. It's beautiful, not beautiful, and so forth. Okay. I remember, I must be 5 years old. I'm sure you have your own experience. Don't let me share my experiences all the time. I must be 5 years old. I was in school here, Tibet school. And we hardly had anything new. Close these things, nothing new. And one day I was hospitalized. I was in hospital for a few days. And then I was discharged. And no mother coming to pick me up. Right? I was 5 years old. And no father coming to pick me up. No one. Just, okay, hey boy, Dorji, you're discharged. And then I go like this to home. And I go there. And reaching the home, no one was there. Because everybody was in class. And this poor boy did not have any time concept. Right? Time was the class, break, no time concept. No one is there. And I went into the dormitory. In the dormitory, on all the bunker beds, there's a brand new towel there. And I looked at each of the towel. And there's this, what is that? The strings, like the curve, like the curve, curly silk, the strings, like this. They put in like the feather. I looked at it, so beautiful, it's amazing. Wow. I was so fascinated. Intrinsically real. Wow, amazing. Right? So this is amazing. So what I'm saying is that even this little boy, there's no intrinsic beauty there. But this boy sees this intrinsically, aesthetically beautiful. Who did all these beautiful things like this? It's not just one. There are thousands there which make one towel. It's so beautiful, amazing. I was so fascinated. Wow. You're getting it? So if you go there, there's no wow. It's just atoms. But this little boy is seeing the wow there. Where did he get this from? Just coming from mind. When did he put it into the mind? Past lives, he was not a little boy, he was an old guy. Past lives. He was so addicted. So these imprints are activated in this little boy's mind to see this, wow. So likewise, anything which you feel is wow, just don't be a dog and a meat. Just hold on for some seconds. Is it really wow or not? Just go into the atoms and see, where is this wow that I was seeing? Where is it? It's not really from the object. And then see how your mind reacts. Your mind will automatically calm down. You're getting it? So you don't have to let your mind, don't react, you don't see it. The moment you see that, it's not really from the object, the mind will automatically stop reacting. Stop reacting impulsively. All this will stop on its own. We don't have to force ourselves. So this is the beauty of the Nalanda tradition, where you see emptiness and all the reactions, involuntary reactions will stop. And the required activity, required proactivity will be triggered. Where the involuntary movements all stop and voluntary movements, meaningful movements will all be triggered. Okay. Time up? Huh? Okay, so still we have time. Good. Okay, now let's see. Verse number 6. But even form and so on, which are perceived by direct perception, are but renown. They're purely subject. Renown here means that this is a flower, and then we just unanimously say this is a flower, and then we see this is a flower. This is how the flower functions. There's nothing from the object. That is not perceived by valid cognition, which perceives the ultimate. Okay, which perceives the ultimate. What do you mean by which perceives the ultimate? So let's say, which perceives the ultimate. Now you know, you have some idea of what is meant by ultimate. Ultimate meaning from the object. The conventional meaning from the subject. You have some idea of that. So let's say that the mind which perceives the ultimate. So what is that like? Say that if you see me in water, you are half a kilometer away from me. You are half a kilometer away from me. And you see me in water. How do you evaluate that what you are seeing is actually water or what you are seeing is just a mirage? How do you evaluate that? Raise hands, anyone. Raise hands. Okay, I'm going to ask Tenzin Sela Jr. How do you evaluate? Okay, if not Tenzin Sela, then Tenzin Hamala. My question is, first, what's the question?
If from a distance I see Geshe in water, how do I evaluate that it's really water?
It's really water or otherwise?
Or a mirage.
Mirage. How do you evaluate? This is my question. Thank you. So what's the answer? It's working.
Hello?
Yes, it's working.
To get closer and see.
Yes. Perfect. Come closer. Get closer. Hello. Hello? Hello? Hello, 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 hello,
Hello.
hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Good. Okay. If you see in the water from distance and you want to evaluate, is it really water? He doesn't know how to swim. Right? Dorji doesn't know how to swim and still he is so happily in the water. Is it really water? Can't be. It can be mirage. So you want to evaluate it. How will you evaluate it? Nicole, how would you evaluate it? Getting closer to me, and when you see there's nothing there, it's all dry, what will you conclude? What I earlier saw as water was actually mirage. You getting it? So, the mind which sees the thing from distance versus mind which sees the things from close by, which is more reliable? Whose perception is the ultimate? Close by. So, it says that what you see is a flower. It's from distance. Close by, you see that flower is empty. Objectively, the flower is empty. That's the ultimate. So, it says, but even, number 6, but even form and so on, which is perceived by direct perception, are but renown, that is not perceived by the Vedic cognition, which views the ultimate. Form and so on are false. False meaning that it's not objectively real, it's not truly real, it's just what comes to your mind. Like worldly acceptance of that was unclean and so forth as clean and so forth. Okay, how many of you got this feeling? One, that sometimes you feel that I'm so clean. You take a shower, put some perfume, right? And they say, put on some fresh clothes, you feel yourself so clean. Make sense? Right? Okay. And let's say, then the other person also say the same thing. There are many people who raise hands. Other person also says, I'm clean. And the person touches the food. And what do you say? No, it's dirty. All right? When you touch your food, it's fine. Somebody else touches it who said, I'm very clean, touches your food, it's very dirty. You're getting it? So if you give yourself a little time and space and say, okay, if I'm clean, the other person is also clean. If the other person is dirty, I'm also dirty. Thing like this, you see that this is all our hallucination, our illusion. Seeing what is impure as pure with respect to myself. What is pure as impure with respect to somebody else. So this is this so obvious contradiction that we see. Likewise, with the ultimate reality, the flower and the absence of flower, absence of objective flower and the objective flower, this contradiction is to be realized on the basis of understanding the contradiction in our, in our recognition of impure things as pure. Okay, 7. It says, by refuting the contradiction with the Buddha's words. For the sake of, okay, now what they say is that, but if things don't really exist, word really, truly, if the things don't truly exist, then why did the Buddha taught all composite things are impermanent, all contaminated things suffer nature? If they are not truly impermanent, if they are not truly suffering nature, why did the Buddha teach these things? And Buddha is omniscient one. He's not in the sleep. He's working. He's in the waking state. So why does he teach things as impermanent, things as suffering nature, and so forth? So this is a contradiction in you. This is what the opponents would argue against Bodhisattva Shantideva. So 7, Bodhisattva Shantideva response. For the sake of letting the common world meaning common world like samsaric beings like us in the sleep, common world, enter into reality. So the Shohei's question, right? So gradually taking us from the dream to the state of waking state. Gradually. So for the sake of letting the common world gradually enter into the ultimate reality, the guardian Buddha taught about truly existent functional things. Things as truly existent, that things as impermanent, and so forth. In fact, the Buddha taught the first turning wheel of Dharma. Buddha remained silent for 49 days. Buddha remained silent for 49 days after attaining Buddhahood. And then the kings of the gods and goddesses, Indra and Brahma, they, through the clairvoyance, come to know that Prince Siddhartha attained Buddhahood, now remaining 49 days in silence, not giving teaching. So they descended. Then they went to the Buddha, they made prostrations to Buddha and requested Buddha, please don't remain silent, please tell the Buddha of Dharma. So with this, then the Buddha started to give the teachings. At first the Buddha said, meaning that profound, in response to the question asked, request made by the kings of Indra and Brahma, the kings of the god and goddesses, please turn the Buddha of Dharma, please don't remain silent. So in response to that, Buddha said, the profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear-light and non-composite, such a nectar-like Dharma is what I've discovered. Finding no one who can fathom this teaching in silence or return to the words. This is what the Buddha replied. And then they made more requests. The Brahma offering the wheel, symbolic of please turn the wheel of Dharma. Indra offering the conch, please blow the conch of the Dharma. Then the Buddha turned towards Sarnath and then gave the first teaching, the teaching of the Four Noble Truths. So when the Buddha gave the first teaching, the Four Noble Truths, Buddha taught that the Four Noble Truths exist truly. This is what is indicated here. Buddha taught that the Four Noble Truths exist truly, but the Buddha is already awakened. Buddha knows that nothing exists truly. So those people who believe in things as truly, they are still in the sleep of ignorance. But the Buddha is already fully awakened. He is referred to as the fully awakened one. So, but he taught this because he taught this to the people who are awakened or who are in the sleep. Who are in the sleep. Oh, you are, yes, it's not dream, it's real, right? They are very happy. So then gradually taken to the waking state, that nothing exists subjectively. Okay. Number 7. For the sake of letting the common world enter into the reality, the Guardian Buddha taught about truly existent functional things, like the Four Noble Truths to be existent truly. In the ultimate sense, however, they are not momentary, meaning that the Buddha taught all composite things are momentary, all composite things are impermanent. But in the ultimate sense, even the momentariness that we see in the conventional sense, in the ultimate sense, even the momentariness also doesn't make it not really there in the ultimate sense. Then the opponents would say, okay, look, what was said thus far, that the Buddha taught all composite things are impermanent, right? Although nothing truly exists as impermanent, Buddha taught all composite things impermanent in order to lead the beings from the sleep of ignorance towards the waking state of awakening. So in order to lead that, momentary. Now the opponents are saying that in the ultimate sense, it's not momentary. In the conventions, yes, things are momentary. The composite things are momentary. So the opponents will say that, but even on the convention level also, things are not momentary. This is your contradiction with you. Why did the Buddha teach things are composite, the impermanent phenomena? In the ultimate sense, you said it is not momentary. In the conventional sense also, things are not momentary, right? Opponents said. Why? Because in the conventional sense, how many of you have some sense of the permanence of things? Right? Not only us. So you have to sometimes fill up the forms where it says permanent address. Right? Are you permanent residents? Right? Buddha said you are a composite phenomena. How can it be permanent? But in the conventional world, there is a permanent residence. You need a permanent residence. If you apply for this, you need a permanent residence. Are you the permanent address? Right? So these are the incarnation world. Things are permanent. So why did the Buddha teach us impermanent? Why? You getting it? Okay, that's interesting. So anyone, how would you respond to this question? Opponents, they're very strong. What they said is very sensible. So why did the Buddha teach that the composite things are impermanent? In the ultimate sense, it's not impermanent. You said it. Acharya Chandra, Bodhisattva Chandra, you said nothing is ultimately the impermanent. And then if not ultimately, then conventionally it should be impermanent. Conventionally meaning how the conventional world accepts. But the conventional world says that permanent address, permanent residence. So they don't take all composite things as impermanent. So how to resolve that? So why did the Buddha teach all composite things impermanent? Okay, Igor, Mike.
Maybe because even at on the level of conventional reality, there are things that are true, truly exist in a logical way or in accordance with reality, and others not.
Okay, which accords with reality. So
within
something real there.
No, within the context of conventional reality, there are some things, I don't know how to articulate, but some things that make sense, exist in accordance with dependent origination, and others not.
Okay, for how many of you it makes sense what Igor said? Or how many of you could not understand it? Okay, Tushita, tell me. What's your response? You agree, not agree, understood, not understood? Not understood. Okay. So who agrees with what Igor said? Resents? Okay, Brahmavalla. What did he say?
I'll say it a little differently. Is this working? That there are some things that are valid in the world and other things that are totally erroneous.
Okay, did you all follow? Right, so you can give an example of what is valid in the conventional world?
Like impermanence. Things change.
Everything is impermanent?
Composite things are impermanent.
All composite things impermanent?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
What of the permanent address?
That's
Permanent residence?
That's
Are
not
you permanent resident? Which country you're from?
the USA.
Are you permanent resident of USA?
Yes. But there's some things that are conventionally true and other things that are not conventionally true.
Very good, very good. Even on the conventional level, let's say this is flower, not flower, in the conventional level.
Flower.
Flower. But if you really see that you go there, the flower's not there. So that is with respect to ultimate analysis. With the conventional analysis, there's a flower there. And if you say this is chocolate, oh, he's holding a blue chocolate. That is even conventionally wrong. So when I say, oh, he's holding a blue flower, that's conventionally correct. On the conventional level, on the ultimate level, this is not a flower. But on the conventional level, this is a flower. There's a distinction there. This flower, this is not a chocolate. There's this distinction there. So therefore, simply because the conventional world says that permanent address doesn't mean that it's an address which is permanent. Permanent residence doesn't mean that the many permanent residents left the world already. They're not permanent actually. Right? So therefore the permanent residence doesn't mean it's permanent. Okay, Anna.
So this just confuses me a little bit. The difference between what might be like a natural law in terms of impermanence, that a tree grows in a certain way and that's reliable, but then, for example, that flower and labelling it as blue, or the example of wearing a hat being rude or not. So for a group of people who in one country say it's rude to wear a hat indoors and other people say it's not. Within that group, conventionally, there's an agreement. However, that seems to me different to the way a tree grows, or the way it rains, or the laws of nature that govern things. So in terms of conventionality, what is and the relationship to dependent origination, what is the difference between a convention that's constructed purely from agreement versus convention based on natural law of things?
Did you follow the question? Okay. Is there anybody who likes to paraphrase this question? Raise hands. Anybody who likes to paraphrase the... Okay, check.
Correct me if I'm wrong. How to differentiate between metaphysically given, natural, and man-made facts, like customs, habits, tradition.
It's not so much how to distinguish, but in terms of the conventional and ultimate truth of things and origination.
Wait. Sorry.
So, from a Dharma perspective, in terms of the language we're using, when we're referring to conventional truth, and when we refer to a convention that's purely constructed by consensus versus a convention based on the natural law of how things work. And then I guess if you want to throw on top of that, then there's just mere imagination, like the horns of the rabbit. So there's a third level where, there's no consensus. Then there's consensus agreed between people that can vary, and then there's the natural laws of things in terms of...
So what I would
cause
say
and
is
effect.
that if I'm not wrong, what you said is beautifully paraphrased by Sheikh. So the metaphysical law there versus the man-made, the things, conventional things. Metaphysical law, like say, you plant an apple seed and the apples grow. Wherever in the world, you plant apple seeds, apple trees grow. And then they say you destroy the apple seed, apple tree will not grow. This is reality everywhere. This is a natural law. Versus, say, you go to the Tibetan community and meet a teacher, and they say, like His Holiness and so forth, say you put off your hat as a sign of respect. And in some places, you remove your hat, this is disrespect, you have to put on the hat. And say, one place, say Tibetan community, and the next, say any other community, like Jewish, the Muslim, Christian. So just a border, sharing a border there, and in this here, say you meet some respectable person or shrine, say here in the Tibetan community, you remove the hat. At the moment you cross this border, you put on the hat when you see the shrine, right? This is purely man-made. Whereas, so you plant this apple seed, apple tree grows. And in the other country, you plant an apple seed and the mangoes grow. No, it's not like this. It's the same. Say there's a natural law there and versus purely man-made things. There are two things there. And then the third one, pure imagination. Pure imagination, plant an apple seed and mangoes grow. This is pure imagination. So there are three things. And so this difference, is the difference in terms of conventional. So what I would say is that in the first place, what is meant by conventional truth? Conventional, so I gave you 5 pairs. What's the first pair that I gave you? Subjective as opposed to? Subjective as opposed to? Objective, number 1. What's number 2? Conventional as opposed to ultimate. 2. So here, all these, the list of 5 pairs, same, subjective, conventional, dependent, deceptive, relative. So these five are synonymous. These five are synonymous, meaning that subjective and conventional, these two are synonymous. What does it mean by subjective? Anyone? Subjective is what comes from the mind. How many agree with Tuela reasons? Good. Subjective is... So now convention. Convention, as of now, we have our own understanding of convention. We have our own understanding of convention. For example, like, say, the currency, the language, and putting on the head as respectful, disrespectful. These are all conventions, right? In the conventional world, say, for example, plant an apple seed and an apple tree grows. We don't say this convention. But only the philosophers will talk about convention. But when you say philosophy in the context of particularly in the context of the Buddhist philosophy, is known as conventional truth. So now, is it that just randomly it is said, the conventional truth? No. So conventional and the subjective, these two are synonymous. How these two are synonymous? This is something that we need to remember. How these two are synonymous. Subjective and subjective meaning something coming from your mind. Something coming from your mind. And something coming from mind again has various levels. So, in this connection, they said that this is so important. This is so important. The subjective and conventional. Let us try to see how these two are the synonyms. Okay, let us do this part. First, let's say the... Okay, let's say that the, what is this? Time up. Okay, I thought that it was just like a coconut. Huh?
It's zero.
Okay. 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 Deyata om gati gati Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisattva Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisattva Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisattva. 3 prostrations.